Welcome back. So, in our Selenium with Java series, today we are going to see the difference between find element and find elements. Now, what are these two things? So, these are basically the methods that the Selenium provided to find or locate different elements. So, in our previous session, we have seen what and all locator strategies are there, like your ID, class name, and your tag name, or you can even use the XPath and CSS selector. But mostly we deal with what you call single elements only, right? Like we used to do driver dot find element by ID username dot send keys, or if it is a button, driver dot find element by dot something dot click actually. But there are actually two methods available, okay? That is find element and find elements. So today we are going to see the difference and then the usages of that. So why exactly Selenium provided these two different kind of methods that we are going to see. Okay, so for this, let me switch to the IntelliJ, and here let me just copy this one, our previous whatever we have created, and then paste it. And here I'll just rename this one EL underscore ELS actually, some name I'm giving, and then click on OK. And for this, let me remove everything. Okay, we are going to see the same demo application only, which we have seen in our previous session. So now let's say to identify this one, actually right click and then open this one, and then here I have ID, class or name, anything is there. So I can straightforward use driver dot find element by dot ID. Okay, and here I'm going to use the ID actually, which is username. So now if you see, now this username is only having one instance only. Okay, this is just one only. Like if you see here, I have only one username as ID. So if I go to this selectors hub, and if I put as username, okay, oops, sorry, it should be has. Now you can see only one element only. So that is why I have to use as driver dot find element. It means that find element only returns one element only. You can see here the what you call return type is org dot or openqa selenium web element only. It means that if I want to hold it into a variable, I have to use web element of element actually here. And now here I can do, and then el specific options, like I can click, I can do el dot send keys if it is a text box, and I can print whatever I want. Okay, so like this I can do that. Fine. Now if I want to have, if I want to store multiple elements, so let's say that with ID username, if I have multiple elements are there. Okay, now where is the usage? Now for single element, we know, I mean we can perform any kind of operation like click, send keys, or get text, get attribute of value. That is all related to one single element only. But there are situations where I can have multiple elements, I want to hold it. For an instance, let's say that if you have a requirement which says in your application on this particular screen you should have only four text boxes only, like one, two, three, four. Four text boxes only. That is the requirement. Or there should be only one home button only. How do you identify all these things? Because these are dealing with multiple elements, right? Of the same type actually. So now to identify the text boxes, what we can do, can we write like this, like input, okay, and then I will say type equal to text. This is actually basically giving me the all the text boxes of my screen actually on this current screen. Now you can see it is matching with four elements. Now I can directly use this one, and then I will put like this web element of element equal to driver dot find element, and then I will say by dot xpath, and in this I will put this one. Okay, now if I put el dot size actually, you see I'm not exactly getting anything actually. even though I want to count the number of text boxes. How do I do this? I don't have size actually here. The problem is that I am using find element, which only returns one matching criteria only. So even though this particular search criteria gives me four elements, it will only consider single element only. Let me just show you that. Send keys, and then here I will put qavbox, then it will print only into this full name. Even though it is matching with the four criterias, whenever I'm using find element, it considers the first occurrence of the element. Let me run this one real quick. Okay, it's thrown some error. Let's see what is that error. Oh, okay. The problem is that I should have used a CSS selector. Now let's run. Okay, let me close this browser. Okay, let's quit this browser and then rerun it. So I'm using a CSS selector here. Now you can see it is printing on the first text box, whereas it found four different text boxes, right? With this matching criteria, I have four results found, but it is printing on the first one. It means that it is taking the index 0 only whenever we are using driver dot find element. Now what I can do to remove that error, I can do like this list of, or maybe I can write like this so that you can understand. Instead of find element, I am using find elements, and the remaining thing I am putting inside this. Now this basically will return me multiple elements whose return type is not just element, but it is list of web element. So what I can do here, list of web element, and here I will put text boxes, okay, equal to this one. Now in this case, let me import this one, and then let me just comment these two things. Now in this case, if I put text boxes dot size, I can get it. So here I can write like this: if, okay, text boxes dot size, oops, equal to 4, then my test case is passed. Test case past, I can write like this. Okay, like this actually I can, what do you call, test actually my scenario. Now let's see if this works fine or not. I think I have to remove one or the bracket actually, and then now let's run this one. It basically won't do anything, it will just count, and then you can see test case passed. It means that my whatever I was expecting, that the number of text boxes should be 4. Okay, now the question comes, how do I print it actually? What I can do, I can use a enhanced for loop, which is like web element and then element colon, and here I will put all the text boxes, or I can do like this, text box, which is single text box, and here I will say text box dot send keys, and here I can print whatever I want actually. Okay, or else I can get the value or get the attribute of that, or whatever I want to do, I can do inside this actually. If let's say that all the four text boxes are filled with something, then what we can do to fetch the details, I can say text box dot get attribute of value. We have seen this one, how we can fetch the details. Like this I can do that. Okay, like if there are list actually, let's say that there are list of elements are there, you want to something, you want to match it actually. For an instance, let's say this is another scenario, I'm talking with your find elements. Even another thing we can do that, let me just show you that. So let's say that I want to send value to the second text box. So what I can do, text boxes dot get of index actually, I can put 1, and then dot send keys, and here inside this I can type something like this, qavbox@gmail.com. So now what this will do, this is my second text box, right? Starts, this index starts from 0 1, so 0 and 1. Now if I run this one, let me not run this for loop and just run this particular thing. So even by index wise also you can send the value, you can click if it is a button. Now you can see on the email field it put so 0 1. Okay, second text box it printed there. Like this you can utilize also. Fine. Now let me give you another quick example of find elements. Now if you see this one, if I inspect this, you can see for this particular parent element, I have so many child elements are there. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 are there. Let's say I want to validate that under this select tool or under this particular what you call element, there are 6 child elements are there. How do I do that? So I can do like this. So let me just show you that. Now if you see the class name is common, right? So here what I can do, I can write like this, list of web element. Okay, oops, not web driver, web element. And here I'm saying list items equal to, okay, driver dot find elements, actually wherever multiple elements I have to use elements by dot class name. Okay, inside this I need to put this one. Okay, now inside this let me put this just to verify it. Let me put a dot and then put it. You can see there are 6 elements it is founding. Now this class is noted as dot, actually if it is id it should be has. Okay, now here I'm fetching all the details. Let's say I want to print all these elements. First I want to count the number of elements, that should be 6, and then print all these values. How do I get it? This one. Now whenever it is option and option closing tag, how do I access this one? By using get text. Now let me try that again. The same for loop I can use, so we call it as a enhanced for loop in Java. So in this list items, this is my collection, right? And here let's say item only. Now here what I can do, item, I can put get attribute of value, but in this case I'm putting as get text so that the visible text I can get it. And here even you can compare also, like if item dot get text dot equals like whatever, if you want, let's say that you are looking for j meter, so what you can do like this, you can do if it is there then s out test case passed, you can even do like this. Okay, where if you want to validate the options, from these options one of the options should be j meter, like this also scenario we can get it. So you can put a if condition here. Fine. So first what it will do, it will capture all the elements, even you can print its size also. So list items dot size. Okay, and then each item is nothing but web elements, right? So these options are nothing but your web elements. Now these web elements you are capturing individually and playing with those elements. Like that you can do. Even you can assert using this size, that the size has to be 6 5 or whatever it is there. Now let me quickly run this one. Okay, it's basically not doing anything, simply reading the details. So this size is printing 6, which we have manually also seen, and then it is printing all the values. You can see all the values 3 4 and then 5 6, and this one basically printed because we wanted to test it whether one of the option is j meter or not. Fine. Like this also you can put use cases also. So we have learned how we can use the find element and find elements, and where and all the different stuff, what you call situations where you can use the find elements, and what are the use cases. See, always try why Selenium is providing these methods, then you can learn better actually. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Hope this session is helpful. Do subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't. Thank you for watching.